Now, I once heard Pastor Tommy Nelson say, we look the best ever on our wedding day, and it's all downhill from there. Well, there is a certain amount of truth in that. Yet we put way too much stock in what our culture calls attractive. Culture points at this fashion model, or that movie star, or some athlete and says the goal is to look like them. But if we look behind the curtain, the image that's being presented is usually not the same as what is really there. Photos are touched up, movie stars are made up, and athletes are pumped up. In other words, much of what we see is not real, but we keep buying into the idea that it is. So our first step is removing the fantasy from our idea of what is attractive. Look at it this way. Your spouse married you. Your spouse was attracted to you. You were and you are enough. Though you may not look like you did on your wedding day, that doesn't mean that you are on some inevitable downhill slide. You're not. We have to get past the images and lies that culture has filled our minds with. For your spouse and your marriage, you are more than enough. Your job is simply to take care of what you have. The next part is for the ladies. But I want you men to listen to this too. It's so important for us as husbands to have an understanding of what our wives deal with when it comes to feeling attractive. First and foremost, stop believing the lies. The perfect woman does not look like some model or movie star. The perfect woman, ladies, is you. God created you perfectly, and He made you perfectly for your spouse. God does not make mistakes, and as long as you continue to believe the lie that you have to look like that to be attractive, you're going to stay on this never-ending quest of frustration and disappointment. On the other hand, if you embrace yourself as perfectly made by God, your inner and outer beauty will shine as never before. It's not an easy assignment. For some, it will be a daily battle, at least for a while, but the results are more than worth the effort. I remember that for an hour before our wedding, I was separated in an oversized closet somewhere in the church where Nancy and I were getting married. All my guy friends deserted me. My best man deserted me. They were all on the outside taking pictures and enjoying themselves, and I was sequestered because no one wanted me to accidentally see Nancy before she walked down the aisle. That was really okay with me, and I totally bought into it. What was not okay, that was during that hour alone, all the fears of what in the world am I doing flooded my mind. By the time my groomsman, my best man, showed up, I looked fine on the outside, but inside, I was a mess. We lined up in a hallway waiting for our cue to walk into the sanctuary and take our places. We filed in as the organ began to play, and I looked at the sea of faces and watched the bridesmaids walk down the aisle. Then I saw the doors at the back shut, and my heart was beating really fast. I thought about running, but thank goodness the message never got to my feet. Then in an instant, everything changed. The doors opened. Nancy and her dad began to walk down the aisle. My heart rate slowed and peace came over me. I knew without a doubt what in the world I was doing there. There, Nancy did not just look beautiful, she was beautiful. And she was minutes from becoming my wife. As Nancy approached 40, she went through this sort of crisis that seemed to be an epidemic among women at that age. She didn't feel beautiful anymore. No matter what I said or how I said it, she just didn't believe me when I told her she was beautiful. She was sure I was just trying to make her feel better, and that there was no way I was going to convince her otherwise. Did she look like she did at 20 on her wedding day? No. Did she look like she did at 30? Did she look a little different at 40? Yes. But what was so hard for her to accept was I truly thought she was more beautiful at 40 than she was on her wedding day. This is why I think so many women have difficulty with. While they look different at different stages of life, it doesn't mean they're not beautiful at each stage. It goes back to these cultural lies that we allow to define beauty for us. It took a lot of work on both our parts, but I think she finally came to a point where she could believe me and embrace the words that I said. The question we need to look at is this: is keeping yourself attractive for your spouse, a priority? Remember when you were dating? Remember thinking about what you were going to wear? As a guy, I showered, I shaved, I put on my favorite shirt, I washed my car. I wanted to look nice, I wanted to smell nice, I wanted my car to look nice. That first semester at college when Nancy and I were dating, I never saw her wear the same clothes twice. I thought the girls' dorms might have huge closets. I found out later that at times she borrowed clothes from friends so that I would always see her in something new. The point is that we both made a lot of effort then, and most of the time now, we still do make effort, although I don't always wash my car anymore. But we continue to make it a priority. We want to look our best for each other. Do we have to? No. But doing so adds something special to our marriage. You know, I still get a spark every time Nancy walks into a room. I think she would say the same. And neither one of us would ever change that.